Thank you for joining us. Namaste. So today we'll do, if you're feeling a little bit under the weather, we'll do a little bit of practice to support you with that. But we'll do some practice to support you if you really kind of need to slow down and really take care of yourself. So let's begin. Come and just sit with those hands on the knees. Just give yourself a nice, really slow rolling down the spine. And finding the floor. And then maybe perhaps bring the heels in so you can press the heels in and feel that connection to the sit bone. And then just lift the hands up so that you can lift the shoulders off the mat. And then slowly soften them back down. We'll do a couple of those. Just lift the shoulder blades off the mat. And let them go down. And then you can bring the elbows down and press the elbows in and then roll the shoulder blades underneath you. And then bring the hands onto the rib cage. And then just first, notice your breath. Don't try to change or alter anything. Just notice if there is a little bit of movement of the breath into your hands. And then we'll just do a couple of rounds of 4 count, inhale and exhale. So take an inhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale on 2, 3, 4. Exhale on 2, 3. Inhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale on 2, 3. And then just allow whatever your natural rhythm is to come in. And then bring your hands down to your thigh sockets. And then just slowly fold the knees in so then you can really feel that crease. And then you can extend the legs high, or you can bring them a little bit lower depending on your body, or you can leave them as not fully extended. And then you can slowly bring them back to the floor. And actually we'll do one leg at a time for a minute. So just flex in one leg, extend it up, flex it in, bring it down. Inhale. Bend it on the exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Extend the leg up. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Inhale. Exhale. both together, and again, you can modify it or do less of the full extension, or have the legs a little lower. Extend, exhale down. Now, we're just going to we'll start small and then we'll do the full roll up of the spine and lift the arms over the head, or you can modify that as well. We'll keep the hands down, and we're just going to inhale, bringing just the tailbone curls up, so just the sacrum off the floor, and then roll it back down. And this is where you really want to feel that heel to the sits bone connection. And you can keep the hands here if you were finding that useful. Roll it down. Just that little part of the spine, sacrum. Roll it down. Inhale, rolling it up. Exhale, roll it down. Now, start to add the lumbar spine, so you'll come up just a little bit higher. Coming down. Lifting the tailbone first, sacrum, lumbar. Then coming down. Inhale, rolling it up. Exhale, down. And on the next one, start to come up more into that thoracic spine. Rolling down. Uplifting the thoracic head. Inhale, rolling it up. You want to come up a little higher, depending on how you're feeling. Really press those heels. By having the hands on the front of the pelvis, you can feel if you're dropping one or the other. And then rolling down. That probably got a little bit of the heartbeat going. Just do a little bit of that windshield wiper with the leg. It's kind of crazy. I'm not real keen on mechanical imaging, but unfortunately, windshield wipers have a certain movement connotation. If you've had children and you've sung "The wheels on the bus go round and round," then you've got a bunch of motions to do with that song. Anyway, the windshield wiper of the legs is just really nice because you get that stretch in the diagonal into the lower spine. And if you make sure you keep that head stable, you could perhaps feel a little bit of stretch on the side area of the neck. And then just drop the knees down and roll to your side. And come up to all fours. Since this is the Under the Weather class, just start to do a little bit of circling with your pelvis. We've already started to warm up the lower spine, and even we rolled up the spine a little bit. And this movement kind of starts to go in a spiral And bringing in the side-to-side action. But see if you can just allow the head and the neck to follow. And everybody's different in terms of their inner ear balance. So some of us are okay with that, and some people need just a little bit more stability or to have those eyes open so you can follow that movement. And you can just do this really small if that's all your body feels like right now. And once you've done one way, go in the other direction. And just make sure you're keeping the breath flowing. And then bring the big toes together, knees wide, maybe perhaps walk the hands a little more forward. And slowly bring those sit bones back to the heels. Couple of breaths here. And then bring the elbows together, and you place the head on the forearm. And you can actually walk the elbows out if you want more of a stretch, or you can just stay where you are. Bit of stretch through the armpits and the shoulder blades. And then inhale, slowly coming up. And we'll do thread the needle pose. So I'm going to bring my left hand through first. Just come on down and we'll just stay here right now. A little stretch through the back of the arm and the shoulder, and keeping the other hand pressed into the mat and the elbow up. And then inhale, slowly come up. Bring the opposite arm through. And we're just keeping the other hand on the mat. Then inhale, slowly come up. And walk the hands forward, and we'll come into a bit of a soft downward dog. So slowly tuck the toes under, and you can just do a little bit of the walking the dog, just to check in with your legs. And then bring the knees down and go into big toes together, knees wide. Inhale, coming up, and tuck the toes under. And if you're up to it, you can have a full downward dog, or you can just keep walking the dog. Then you can start to walk the dog so the hands and the feet come towards each other. And then just keep the knees soft. And just let the spine just hang here for a few breaths.
You can either put the fingertips on the floor, or you can even just rest your hands on your feet. There's something really nice about just resting the tops of the palms onto the tops of the feet. And I like connecting my shins and my forearms here. There's something really nice about that. And then to come to standing, just slowly walk the hands up the shins and bring them over the knees and then up through the tops of the thighs. Bring them right here to that crease again. And then slowly roll up the spine until you're standing in Tadasana. And just let the hands come next to you. Keep the knees a little soft and just do a slight rocking forward and back. Just to notice your balance. Notice the support of your legs. Where is your pelvis? Where is your shoulder girdle? And you just have a gentle sort of rock. You can make it really small, especially if it makes you feel worse by doing a full rock. And then see if you can find where there's a bit of balance, where you're not too far back on your heels and you're not too far forward on your feet. And then if you're able to lift the toes to feel that instep, and then that engages your leg, and then slowly soften the feet. Now we're going to raise the arms up a little bit, but we'll go a couple different directions and you can just see how far you want to go. We'll first just inhale them up to shoulder height and exhale down. So you can kind of imagine them floating up just to shoulder height and then floating down. Floating up, shoulder height, floating down. And as you float them down, see if you can feel both your pinky side and your thumb side. And then we'll float them up, just shoulder height in the front, float them down. Float them up, float them down, float them up, just to shoulder height, float them down. Now if you're feeling okay, you can start to inhale them up over the head if that feels doable today. If it doesn't, you can just float them up to the shoulder height with the palms parallel to each other. Bring them down. But if you're able to let them float all the way overhead, you can feel that whole length in the body, side by. And then exhale down. And then put the hands on your hips, and we'll just slowly and softly start to shift the weight side to side as we begin to open the legs out so that the front foot on mirror image, so that the front foot turns forward and the back foot turns in behind. And you can keep up a little bit of that motion just to feel the fluidity, and then see if you can find that stability. Just a couple of breaths with the hands here on the hip. And if you want to go further, we'll start to bring the torso. You want the side body even and parallel as you can. And keep the hands on the hip. But if you want to bring them into a more extended position, you can. Or you can just keep them on the hip. Couple of breaths here. Bring hands back to the hips and slowly bring the torso up. And then as you get softness into the knees, you can bring the feet around to parallel a little bit with the knees bent. And then coming to the other side, you can just start to shift the weight a little bit until you get that foot facing forward and the back foot turned in slightly. And then with the hands on the hips or even on the thigh sockets, you can really start to engage the leg. And yet keep that shoulder girdle soft and open. And once you find the stability here, you can start to really lengthen through the side body, both sides coming long. A couple of breaths here. And if you want to extend the arms more, feel free to extend the arms. And bring the hands back to the hips. Slowly come up. And you can just slowly softening, inching, rocking side to side to bring those feet back into parallel and into Tadasana. And if you're up for it, you can inhale the arms overhead. If you're not, you can just float them up, float them down. Whichever is working for you today. Couple of breaths here. Bring the arms down. And again, the hands on the hips. And again, we'll start to rock side to side to bring the legs out until you've got back foot turned in and the front foot long. And if you're there, you can do a little bit of rocking back and forth. Just feel that helps you really engage that back foot. If you lean back a little bit, helps you engage that front foot if you lean forward. But now come into the power of the legs here. And then slowly start to bend that front leg into Warrior Two. Keep the hands here the whole time. You can just slowly try to soften or try to bring that front thigh more parallel as best as you can. Might not get there today. And you can stay here. That feels right. If you want to go further, you can float those up into more extended version of Warrior Two. And you can release the hands back to the hips. Slowly bring those feet around with the knees soft so you can do a little bit of rocking back and forth between the feet. So you turn around to the other side. And then you can really hold on to those thigh sockets, hips. As you start to bend that front leg, feel into the power between the feet. And if you want to extend the arms, you can, or you can just keep them down. Or whatever works for your body today. And then bring the hands back. And you can slowly rock between the feet to bring yourself back into Tadasana. Then you can either float your arms to the side or up, or you can bring them all the way up. Feel that length, but also how that really opens up the whole front, side body. Bring the hands down and hands on the hips. So we're going to go to tree or tree variation. So you can stay here with the hands on the hips and just bring one foot to the ankle to start with. You're up to it. You can bring it a bit higher. And you can stay here. This can be your tree for today. Or you can bring the hands to prayer position. And this can be your tree. Or if you want to bring them overhead, this can be your tree today. And slowly come out, hands on hips, foot down, both feet down. Then you can start with the other foot on the ankle. This can be your tree, or you can bring it up. That can be your tree. Or you can bring the hands to prayer position. That can be your tree. Or you can bring your arms overhead. Coming back into Uttanasana. You can inhale the arms up, or you can just float them to your side. Stay. And then come on back down to your mat, or we get ready for an inversion or a shavasana. Let's just do a little twist. So extend one leg long. Take the opposite hand on the thigh, and you can just leave the other shoulder and arm on the floor. And you keep your head neutral. And stay here for a couple of breaths. Inhale, slowly come up, change legs. Take the opposite hand onto that thigh, outer thigh. And you can, be soft with it, or if you want a little more stretch, you can press that thigh a little. It's whatever you need for your body today. Inhale, coming out. And so, a nice way to end, of course, would be, and if you have a pillow handy under your pelvis, that's nice too, but it's with the legs up on a chair or the couch or whatever you might have. But you can also put a pillow or a block or something under your pelvis to get a little bit more elevation, depending on what you need. But it's really nice to have legs on the chair every once in a while. To just get into that restful, that the legs don't have to do anything, that the energy can just come down through the thighs, into those thigh sockets. Just be in whatever position you can be in for this kind of Shavasana. If you don't have a chair handy, clearly you could do feet up the wall, or you could do regular Shavasana. And again, if you want to place the hands on the rib cage or even in the thigh sockets and just notice your breath without trying to change anything. And then you can place your hands and arms in whatever position feels right for you. It can be right by your side. It could be cactus arms. So whatever position is going to feel the most comfortable for you right now. See if you can feel your toes. Can you feel all 10 of your toes softening? Can you feel the tops of your feet, the balls of your feet, the insteps, and the heels? Can you feel all those bones softening in your feet? Feel your ankles softening, that connection from the feet to the leg. You feel your lower leg, your shin, your calf muscle softening. What about the top of the knee, the sides of the knee, and the back of the knee softening? How about your upper thigh? Can you feel the hamstring and the quadriceps soften back into the thigh socket? And can you imagine your pelvis like a bowl?
So the outer edges soften, the rim soften, and the content is softening. And then how about your rib cage, your side waist, your belly, your lower back? And you feel that softening, spreading. What about each vertebrae in the spinal column? And how about your upper chest, your sternum, your collarbone, your shoulder blades? Can you feel that whole area softening? Upper arms, biceps, triceps, deltoids are softening. How about your inner elbow, point to the elbow? Your forearms are softening, and your wrists, hands, palms, fingers are all soft. Can you feel the collarbone notches soften so that your throat can soften and the back of your neck can soften and lengthen? And your whole skull is softening. Your scalp softens. Your forehead widens and softens. Your temples are softening. Space between the eyebrows widens and softens. Your eyeballs rest into the eye socket. Your cheeks soften. Your jaw softens. Your lips, tongue, and teeth are all soft. And your chin is soft. And then slowly begin to deepen your breath, bringing a bit of movement into your body, stretching your hands and feet, finding a big stretch to roll to your side, come up to sitting. And namaste, and have a lovely day or evening wherever you are.
watching and joining